Hello everybody and welcome back to this very special edition of SNR. My name is Kieran McGinley and today we're taking you through the off-season races that head to the Classic mode. Now in this sort of video we're going to have three 25% Classic races, hopefully random grids, that's what I've been told, in sort of three different scenarios. The championship's all decided tonight, so I will try and keep on top of that as far as possible. First race though, we're going to head to Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium to race the MP4/4s and the MP4/6s as well. Both driven by SNR, both magnificent machines for their time. So there's a choice of those two cars for each driver. And then we're going to head to Silverstone to race only in Hill's 1996 Williams that helped him win the championship against Michael Schumacher. And then for the last race, we're going to head to Monza to race any 2000s Ferrari. This could be the 2002 Ferrari, the 2004 Ferrari, both helping Michael Schumacher and Ferrari to complete dominance of the early noughties, or 2007 with Raikkonen's Ferrari helping him pip Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton to the title by just 1 point. So it's a bit of fun tonight, and as I said before, the championship will be decided tonight and in this video. So hopefully we will have all of that calculated, I hope. But anyway, hopefully after this edit, we're going to be at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. So here we are in Belgium now. We're just getting ready for the one-shot qualifying, and as you can see, the heavens have opened. Just a quick reminder, the cars available are the MP4-4 or the MP4-6. Going through the driver list now, only 3 drivers have gone for the 91 car. That is Walter Titium, AJ to the P and Shug M. Everybody else has chosen the MP4-4. We've got about 5 seconds before qualifying starts, so let's see how much coverage we can get. So we're on our way for qualifying now, and as we head on board with Shug Hemi, he's currently second at the moment. AJ to the P leads the way though at this moment in time. Of course, one-shot qualifying is always very, very risky. We've got Shug M and Invader Zippo have retired from the session. They've both crashed out from the qualifying session. Incredible. Well, that's the thing with these cars. They've got little to no rear-end traction. So AJ to the P leads the way at the moment, and of course I'll try and keep everybody up to date as we go through. And there's no telemetry to go off of whatsoever, so it's a real guessing game. Rocketoni's up into second right now, Titium third, Chelsea Boy fourth, DarrenSinclair in fifth, Rocket Queen sixth. We've got Spark Bobster who's now out, and Captain Pants not setting a lap time either, so we've only got a top 9 right now. Still AJ to the P leads the way, and he's going to try and take this as steady as possible right now, but of course you've got to keep pushing. It's that simple blend. We'll have a see how far Titium is behind, and as you can see, AJ to the P has a sizable lead. It's a good lead, but a mistake can put him just back to the back of the grid, so that's what's all important about this. And we will see if any lap times are invalidated, of course. At the moment, though, AJ to the B is leading the way, and he's got sensational car control right now, and that's the advantage of a wheel in these cars. You can really just throw the car in, and it will grip with these steering wheels. Titium is in second there. Rocketoni is in third. As you can see, they're not far away from each other at all. There's now AJ to the P heading around now through this banked curving and not so straight back straight as we now go towards the bus stop chicane. I'm not a fan of calling this the bus stop chicane because it's not the bus stop chicane. Anyway, AJ to the P goes through here now, and it's just a last chicane to get right now as we head around that final corner. AJ to the P going towards the line now. Will he have pole position? He crosses the line and sets a 2:16.7. Let's see what the rest of the field have. Titium there, 3 seconds back. Rocketoni though grabs second place. Titium in third, Chelsea Boy fourth, Rocket Queen fifth, DarrenSinclair in sixth, Bravo Wolf seventh, Heem Carl in eighth, which means DK will finish ninth when he does cross that finish line. So AJ to the P grabs pole position from this one-shot qualifying ahead of the first race in this championship. So there are your confirmed results for the first race, one-shot qualifying. AJ to the P takes pole position. Captain Pans did cut the track, so his time was disqualified. But Rocketoni's in second, Tatia in third, Chelsea Boy fourth, Rocket Queen in fifth, Darren Sinclair in sixth, Bravo Wolf is seventh, Heemcar eighth, DK ninth, Spark Bobster in 10th there, Shug M in 11th, Invader Zippo 12th, and Captain Pants in 13th place. Let's head to the race now after this edit. So we get ready now for the race here at Belgium. 25% race, so we are looking at around about 11 laps, but in these cars, well, the lap time could be around 2 minutes a time, but in these cars, obviously, we should be in for a fantastic race. We're just getting ready now. We've already went on Shug M. Setups here are a little bit tricky to get right because they're not normal Formula 1 cars. They're not the 2017 ones. And that's why the setup is very, very important. But as we're going to head now to 5 red lights here at Spa-Francorchamps. Lights out, and this classic race is underway. Let's see what the starts are like. AJ to the P gets a really good start as we're heading now into turn 1. As you can see now, they're going to try and go 3 wide as we're going to head out of the first hairpin. Looks like everybody's kept it clean so far. AJ to the P still leads the way. Chirocca Tony there is in second, but now they're going to try and head through Eau Rouge here and through Radion. Does everybody keep it clean at the moment? Yes. Well, DK's got himself a 5-second stop-go penalty as Spark Bobster there has dropped all the way back. We'll have a see what happens there. Now we're going to ride on board with Shug M as now they're going 2 wide. Loads behind them as Shug M finds himself in 9th there, and Bravo Wolf and Heemcar going side by side. As you can see there, Bravo Wolf gets the position there and he moves up into 7th place. We'll have a see of the leading cars in just a moment, but we've got Spark Bobster who is out of the race. Spark Bobster has completely torn off that front left-hand wheel and is out of the race. Well, let's see what DK looked to be the other car involved in that, and it looks like he's got away with no damage, but Spark Bobster out of this one. Meanwhile then, Darren Sinclair didn't have a great qualifying. He is the SNR champion, and he'll just be using this race to practice his racecraft, I think, as he chases down the runner-up, Chelsea Boy. This should be a great battle then. These two had a rivalry all season long, and it's great now to see them just fight out for this classic championship battle. AJ to the P still leads the way. Rocketoni's in second, Chelsea Boy third, Darren Sinclair fourth, and we've got Heemcar's out of the race now. Heemcar is out, and he must have clipped the wall there on the left-hand side, coming out of the right-hander, going through to sector 3, and he just must have got the back end lost, and he's he's out of the race now. It's so difficult to drive these cars, especially these cars that just tail happy as Chelsea Boy passes Rocketoni to go up into second place. But as you can see behind him, Chelsea Boy has to defend from Rocketoni. Rocketoni dives it down the inside, but he runs wide, and as you can see there, trying to rejoin, they're going to be neck and neck going through Eau Rouge. That's just allowing AJ to the P to get away as Rocketoni looked up the inside there. Not probably the wisest place to look for a move, but we've got someone running very wide there. That was Titium running very wide there. Must have lost the back end and just stepped it out as to keep the car in check. Meanwhile, we're going to ride on board with Rocketoni. There's Chelsea Boy on the inside as they head towards the braking zone now. Who's going to get the advantage? Rocketoni just ahead slightly and trying to stay around the outside, but Chelsea Boy has him covered. And meanwhile, Darren Sinclair's just looking on and seeing if he can take a position when he can. Rocketoni then trying to go right up the inside of Chelsea Boy. Chelsea Boy's got a better line going through that turn there. And as we head on our way to Pouillon, we've got Chelsea Boy trying to defend as far as he can now. Now Rocket Queen has to be careful here because Darren Sinclair is now down the inside, and if he's not careful, Rocket Queen's going to have a look as well as Rocketoni runs very wide there and loses all of that time, not only to Darren Sinclair but to Rocket Queen and Bravo Wolf as well, as Bravo Wolf there gets squeezed by Rocket Queen heading into the right left here. And well, I'm very sorry, I don't have a track map up, so I'm not sure entirely of these names, but I'll do my best, that's for sure. Rocketoni though will be very frustrated with that. He's lost all that time and all those positions just trying to take a position from Chelsea Boy. Meanwhile though, AJ to the P leads the way. Chelsea Boy's there in second. Darren Sinclair third, but he's under pressure from Rocket Queen, who was also under pressure from Bravo Wolf and Rocket Tony here, as Bravo Wolf now is going to try up the inside of Rocket Queen. They touch and he locks up. Rocket Tony's allowed to go through. Rocket Queen runs a little wide there because of the contact, and there's even more contact as Titium runs into the back of Bravo Wolf. This is incredible stuff, as now you've got Bravo Wolf now trying to go round the outside of Rocket Tony, trying to make up for lost time, and Rocket Tony's gone down the inside. Bravo Wolf then will try and use a wider line, get a better exit and a better apex, but as you can see behind them, as we've got the Water Titium there, the 91 Ferrari, the MP4-6 trying to have a look as he's trying to make his way past. As we've got Titium there running off track again, and we've got Captain Pants now out of the race, and that's a big contact there. Huge damage to the car there, as both front tyres have been torn off as well as the front wing. That's a huge accident there. I'm not quite sure what happened though, as normally happens with those things, but unfortunate for Captain Pants, he is now out of the race. Meanwhile then, Rocket Queen, Rocket Tony, and we've got Bravo Wolf, Water Titium, Shug M, Invader Zippo there as well, all trying to fight over 4th place. This is incredible stuff. Now as Rocket Queen tries to defend from Rocket Tony, Darren Sinclair's allowed to get away and try and catch up to Chelsea Boy now. We're going to see how far the gap is between those two. Not very far at all. This is incredible stuff. Rocket Tony runs wide, and that's going to cost him his exit, because once you run wide, you just keep running wide, as Shug M there loses a heap of time there. Rocket Tony trying to get past Bravo Wolf, and he has done. And now he'll be trying to well, he's running wide there. He does get back past Bravo Wolf, I should say, as he's trying to make up lost time. Now GN Rocket Queen is the next target here, as he does run slightly wide, and you can see here Bravo Wolf's just made a meal of him there and has instantly taken back that position. Rocket Tony's not going to be happy with that. He's now going to try and move surely now into the bus stop chicane. Round the right-hander, the left-hander they go, as they come up to the bus stop chicane, but Rocket Tony there looks to have lost a lot of time to Bravo Wolf. Meanwhile behind them, Invader Zippo trying to have a look up the inside of Shug M. He's not having it though, Shug M, and he holds the position. Meanwhile we've got, I believe that's Titium there, who runs wide again, not taking that bus stop chicane very well. Rocket Tony though, right on the back of Bravo Wolf here, and as I just try and look at my table here to see the cars here, we've got AJ to the P is leading the way, and he is in the 91 McLaren here, the MP4-6, and you can see now how far a lead he's actually got to Chelsea Boy and then to Darren Sinclair. Speaking of which, Chelsea Boy's position is under threat from Darren Sinclair here, as they make their way through the right, left, right here. Now they're coming down to this difficult, challenging right-hander. The braking zone's downhill, so you need to brake earlier. It's very easy to lock a tyre going through this right-hander. As we've got Titium moving up a position there in 8th place. We've got Rocket Tony here as trying to get past Bravo Wolf once again. Bravo Wolf's managed to find a way past once again, and it's left Bravo Wolf here on a bit of a sticky bother here. He's got to try and make his way past once again, but we will try and keep up to date with that. Rocket Tony runs wide, and that's going to cost him going through Puon, and he runs wide again, and that's not going to help his lap time at all. Meanwhile though, Darren Sinclair does his best to try and chase down Chelsea Boy. These two title rivals all season long now have another chance of battling it out as they run extremely wide. Darren Sinclair clips the wall and clips his front wing. He took too much curb, he ran too wide, and Darren Sinclair's lost all of that time, all of his front wing as well, and Titium now is out of the race. Titium has done exactly the same thing, but more severe consequences. His race is over, and Darren Sinclair here now has to try and find his way back to the pit lane. It's a 25% race, so does he choose to retire now, or does he choose to carry on as he smashes through the Pirelli sign? Is he going to smash through another one? Yes, he is. He's going to try and make his way back to the pit lane now. Well, he will have fresher tyres, that's the only benefit, but he's dropped all the way down into 9th place. Chelsea Boy ran wide, but he seemed to get away with it, but Darren Sinclair clipped the wall there, lost his front wing when he collided with another wall, but Titium there got very unlucky, just took too much wall there. All three of them did exactly the same thing. They ran too wide, they clipped that wall, and well, TM finds himself out of the race. Meanwhile, Darren Sinclair has to pit in for a new front wing and hope that incidents happen up ahead that get him back into the race. We're about halfway through this race right now, so we'll have a see what happens to Darren Sinclair as he makes his way back out onto the circuit. Shug M then trying to chase down Rocker Tony. He's the closest to a man to another car right now, and Rocker Tony's got to look at his mirrors now as Bravo Wolf locks up going through the right-hander here. As I said before, very easy to do as the braking zone is downhill. Shug M then in the 91 MP4-6 is only one of 3 drivers running this car at the moment, as the other 2 are AJ to the P and I believe it was Water to TM as well, who is now out of the race. So there's only 2 of them left as Shug M tries to launch it round the outside, which then becomes the inside for the next corner. And has he got the line? Has he got the grip? As Rocker Tony there gives him the room, and as they head through the right-hander here, do they make contact? Yes, they do. As Shug M's trying to get the line right, Rocker Tony goes up the inside, and Shug M has nowhere to go. As they make contact again, they bang tyres, and this battle's going to be intense now as they head towards the bus stop chicane. And Rocker Tony's going to be on the outside. Shug M for now has that position, but you can be damn sure that Rocker Tony's going to try and move up the inside as Chelsea Boy pits in now. Chelsea Boy into the pits, and well, I forgot with a 25% race, there is actually a pit stop that needs to be made. So Chelsea Boy comes in early. Shug M there coming into the pits as well. Meanwhile, though, AJ to the P stays out. Rocket Queen in second, Bravo Wolf third, Rocker Tony fourth. Chelsea Boy is then into the pits. Shug M is in sixth. Chelsea Boy is coming to the pits. Where does that leave Darren Sinclair? He's making his way along this back straight that's Zora Straight. So he's way behind Chelsea Boy with all that lost time. So Chelsea Boy rejoins in fifth there as he's now the leading car that has made a stop. We'll see what that does to AJ to the P. The gap between them was almost 10 seconds. And with a 25% race, it's 4 times the tyre wear you'd normally get. So in another scenario, if this were a 100% race and you get an undercut, it's equating to 4 laps in an actual race before you decide to pit again. So that's how much the tyre wear is affected. You can lose so much time if you're forced to experience the undercut from the car behind. It does cost you a mountain of time. But we'll see what happens here to AJ to the P. Currently leading the way in his MP4-6. Rocket Queen's there in second place. Bravo Wolf in third. Rocker Tony in fourth. Chelsea Boy is in fifth. Shug M, the other MP4-6, he's in sixth place. Invader Zippo is in seventh. Darren Sinclair is in eighth, and DK there in ninth place. We've got DNFs here to TM, Captain Pants, Heemcar and Spark Bobster have all crashed out of this race. And so are no longer taking part in this race, as if that wasn't obvious enough. We'll have a see on board now. AJ to the P still running out there, still setting lap times in his MP4-6 as he rounds the first corner and comes up towards Eau Rouge and Radium. A little bit of a fun fact, this bottom part here is Eau Rouge. In fact, this part here is actually Radion. That's a little chicane there. Eau Rouge only refers to the bottom part of that chicane, as where where it's translated the Red River, red water, goes at the bottom of the track, and that's where it used to flow through. Actually, the top part is actually called Radion, so that's why I call it that. Obviously, it's more colloquially known as Eau Rouge, the entire thing, but that's a little fun fact I like to throw into that. Anyway, back to the racing, shall we? Bravo Wolf closing in on GN Rocket Queen as Rocker Tony there in fourth place right now. Chelsea Boy is in fifth. Shug M is in sixth in his MP4-6. He's the only one running MP4-6 apart from AJ to the P, our current leader. And we've got Bravo Wolf. Bravo Wolf is out of the race. And he must have lost the back end coming out of the left-hander there. And clipped the wall, as it's so easy to lose the back end of these cars. And Bravo Wolf now is the latest casualty and is out of the race. So AJ to the P then still leads the way, and Darren Sinclair there is going to be glad to see Bravo Wolf out of the race. It means he gets another position, and Well, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top in this classic race. You may like one car, you may really dislike another. I know for a fact I hate the 2002 Ferrari. It's very oversteery, especially for that type of car, which has, you know, supposedly has a lot of downforce. So much oversteer in those Ferraris there. So it all depends. Still though, AJ2P leads the way, and is he going to try a no stop, because the pit window is technically closed now to do a one stop. So is AJ2P going to try a no stop and go to the end of the race? He certainly seems to have the pace for it, as he sets fastest lap after fastest lap. Chelsea boy though is in 4th place right now, 4.2 behind, and he'll be trying to look to get onto the back of Rockatoni. GN Rocket Queen then comes into the pits, pops on another set of tyres, and away he goes. And where will he rejoin? Shughem really is his closest rival right now, and he's making his way through the bus stop chicane. Rocket Queen then's heading out of the pit lane, so he's going to rejoin in front of Shughem, and we'll have a clear bit of track ahead of him and behind him to start pushing and see if he can make his way onto the podium. AJ to the P then, we're watching him very closely, because he's gone a long way on these tyres, and he should be due into pit. Whether he does pit or not is another question, as for some reason his head there of his avatar just keeps going up and down. I don't know whether he's trying to keep himself awake or something, but that's very interesting then, as we head through now. A little bit of lag there, that's probably the reason why, as hopefully we have a good amount of connection now. Do we have that? I think we do. I think it's stabilised a little bit there. DarrenSinclair then trying to close in on Invader Zippo. This will be the battle for 6th place, as DarrenSinclair looks to try and recover as many points as possible after his off earlier on in the race. He was the first person to make a stop because of his front wing, and now he chases down Invader Zippo for 6th place. As Invader Zippo's gone off. I went to have a look there, and he's lost the back end, and well, he's lost the position to DarrenSinclair. Well, that was it then. AJ2P then, race leader, finally comes into the pits. On go, a new set of tyres for him, and he will rejoin. Should it be quite a way in front of Rockatoni? Let's have a look. As Rockatoni comes up to the bus stop chicane, AJ2P should comfortably take the lead of the race with 3 laps to go. He's pretty much led from start to finish. Rockatoni now into the pits now, as he makes his way to his pit box. Chelsea boy, that means, takes 2nd place in this race, as Rockatoni's still in the pits. What does this mean for DarrenSinclair then? He's coming up towards the bus stop chicane, as Rockatoni comes into the box, puts on a new set of tyres, new set of boots, as DarrenSinclair still at the still hasn't got to the bus stop chicane then. So Rockatoni's going to rejoin in front of him, as Rockatoni there rejoins in front of Shughem as well. So Shughem there in the MP4-6 is going to try and look to reel in Rockatoni. The MP4-6 has much better downforce, so he's going to be much faster through Eau Rouge and Radion. You can see here as how much more pace he takes in there. Of course, no DRS. That's the main thing about this Classic Championship, is that there is no DRS. So it's purely driver skill and getting these corners absolutely spot on to make your move stick. This is what makes the racing difficult. But as you can see, Shughem is reeling in Rockatoni, and quickly, as we head through to this right-hander here. Now going to head through. Rockatoni takes a little bit of curb there, not ideal, and that's going to cost his exit time, as we're now going to head towards Puon now. The sweeping left-hander, where the MP4-6 has so much more downforce, so much more grip going through there. And you can see that now with Rockatoni having to lift off, taking a wider line as well. As Shughem now will be trying to get 4th place from Rockatoni. But he's got to try and catch up to Rockatoni first of all, as it's a dead heat between these two. I would say the MP4-6 is a faster car, and of course in these Classic Championships, here's the thing, due to licensing with Codemasters, they couldn't make the cars equal in classic cars, so they are the performance of what they performed back in the day. i.e. realistic performances, which means if you have a faster car, you are going to be faster around the track. It's not like picking a Mercedes, as Shug M here getting really close to the back of Rockatoni there, as we head now with only 2 laps to go, as in this first race of the championship. Shug M here is trying to close in on Rockatoni, this for 4th place in the race, and or every point counts here as you try and head through. AJ to the P is almost a 19-second lead in this race, as Rockatoni there trying to use a wider line to get a better line through Eau Rouge and Radion, as he picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. He's trying to defend from Shug M. Shug M now has the slipstream. He's going to pull out on down the inside. Can he make the move stick? No, he backs out of it, and Rockatoni keeps the position for now, as well, Shug M now has to realise that Rockatoni has a 3-second time penalty, and all he has to do is stick behind him and he will get that position. Invader Zippo there picking up a time penalty as well, as DarrenSinclair then is in 6th place after his earlier off, so it's a good recovery drive so far from him. It's not over yet though, a lot can still happen. We've got a load of retirements, 5 retirements from this race, so anything can still happen, as Shug M here really trying to close in on Rockatoni, but he hasn't got long to do it. Meanwhile then, AJ to the P is just about to start the final lap of this first race in the championship, as he'll cross the line any moment now to start the final lap. So Shug M has not got long to make his move stick, as now we're going through this right-hander here. Very easy to get it wrong and clip the wall, and Shug M comes very, very close there to ending his race early, but he's got a good line now and a good amount of momentum. You can see how much he's closing up to Rockatoni here, heading through the flying left-hander up towards the bus stop chicane. Will he try a move? Shug M thinks about it, makes Rockatoni look at his mirrors, but nothing doing just yet. And Shug M has only got 1 more lap to try and find a way past, as Shug M here has to do, well, he has to make this move stick now. He hasn't got long. He has got the long Kemmel straight to try and get into the slipstream. He's got to get Eau Rouge right though, as that's his only real chance now of trying to get past that, and the bus stop chicane are his real chances of trying to get a move done. Of course, with no DRS, as Shug M now picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. So now he really does have to make this move out on track, as now we're coming down to the Kemmel straight. As you can see, Shug M not close enough. All he has to do now is put his car in the right place and hope that Rockatoni makes a mistake. Rockatoni defending, just has to try and keep the car on the track now. That's his best chance of winning. AJ to the P then heading through this left-hander, the downhill. Sorry, that was the complete wrong part of the circuit. He's on the straight that's not a straight, as we're heading through now. AJ to the P for the last time, heading towards the bus stop chicane now. He's pretty much led from start to finish, had pole position here, and he's going to round the final few corners up towards this bus stop chicane. And it looks like, barring any last-minute mistakes and errors, that AJ to the P rounds the final corner. He's going to take victory in the first round of this championship series. Chelsea boy then rounding the final few corners here. We've got a lovely shot from the helicopter here, as Rockatoni there, I said he had to keep it on the track, and he's lost it, and Shug M takes the position. Well, I told you it's not over till it's over. Chelsea boy then takes 2nd place and 18 points in the championship. Rocket Queen then going through the bus stop chicane. He's going to take 3rd place in the final step on the podium, and he'll take 15 points for the championship. Shug M then will come home in 4th place, and he's going to take 12 points to head towards his championship. Rockatoni then made that last lap error. Well, he will take 5th place home though, and he'll be able to take 10 points away with him. DarrenSinclair, after that earlier off, takes home a respectable 6th place there. Invader Zippo, barring again any last minute errors, is going to take home 7th place, as he now heads through this bus stop chicane now, and he will try and take 7th place. A little bit of oversteer on the way out, but Invader Zippo here takes 7th place. DK there is the last person to finish and take the checkered flag. Of course, barring any last minute errors, he will take 8th place in this championship. But your winner today in this race is AJ to the P. He scores full points and takes the lead of the championship. So then, onto the podium celebrations as AJ to the P takes the first victory. Chelsea boy there in second, and yeah. So there we have it then. AJ to the P takes the full 25 points and makes his way to the top step of the podium. With Chelsea boy in second, Rocky Queen third. As now we head now to the next race in the series. Round 2 of this championship then takes us to Silverstone in Damon Hill's 1996 Williams that helped him conquer Michael Schumacher and Ferrari to take his first and only World Championship. All of them have exactly the same car, that Williams that Hill drove, and they'll all be at an equal pegging, apart from setup, of course. We're going to get into the one-shot qualifying. So then, as we get underway here for the first part, the one-shot qualifying of this race here at Silverstone, you can see there Spark Bobster taking an early lead as Captain Pants is out of the qualifying session, and that is probably a cut track, and Rockatoni's done exactly the same thing as well, so their qualifying session is over. AJ to the P then is on his way. Well, now drops down to fourth. This is why it's so difficult to cover a one-shot qualifying session. Darren Sinclair currently leads the way from Chelsea boy and Bravo Wolf as we go into the sunlight here. As Darren Sinclair heads through the sunlight towards the next turn. Heads through the old turn 1 here as he'll now head towards Beckett's, but he has gone wide there, and that will have cost him time. It's now through Beckett's, that lovely complex there where it's easy to put four wheels off the track, especially round that right-hander there. As now you're going to head down towards the back straight there. DRS would be in effect if it existed back in 1996, of course. Of course it doesn't, and Darren Sinclair still leading the way at the moment. Of course, internet connection does make this slightly inaccurate, as we will see what happens as they come towards the line round the last corner now. Keep that back end in check. Very easy to oversteer and run wide, but Darren Sinclair takes pole position with Chelsea boy and AJ to the P. So we'll now see how they line up for the race. So then, after this qualifying session, Darren Sinclair took pole position, 0.175 ahead of Chelsea boy. AJ to the P in third there. Bravo Wolf took fourth place. Spark Bobster fifth. Invader Zippo in sixth. Heemcarl in seventh. Rocker Queen there in eighth place. And DK in ninth. Tatiam, Shugem, Rockatoni and Captain Pants all did not set a lap time because they ran wide and invalidated their lap time. British Grand Prix after this edit. So here we are then for the British Grand Prix, as AJ to the P trying to extend his championship advantage right now. Finds himself third place on the grid, and we're now building up to the race as I'm trying to keep up with it. It's not going to plan, but obviously I will try and keep you up to date as soon as possible. But we're now going to head to the race now, as we're going to head now towards 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for round 2 of this Classic Championship. That's Darren Sinclair at the start. Doesn't get a great start, and Chelsea boy might be able to take the lead. He does. AJ to the P is going to be very optimistic and try and make a move around the outside. Darren Sinclair hasn't got a good start, and AJ to the P could make a position. But we got back contact at the back and contact at the front. There was DK and Heemcarl making contact, and they both hit the wall there. As I'm trying to make sure I catch up with everything. Yes, that was Titium and Heemcarl. Sorry, DK and Heemcarl collected each other there and made themselves into the wall. Tatiam there made contact and finds himself at the back of the field. Meanwhile then, Darren Sinclair has lost a huge amount of time. Chelsea Boy leads the way. AJ to the P is in second. Darren Sinclair third. Spartan Bobster there in fourth place, as we see Rockatoni here losing a position. Shug M there in 9th place, as we've got a bit of gravel in the air as Rocket Queen goes around the outside, does he, of Invader Zippo, and he does, as Rocket Queen now moves up into 6th place. Meanwhile then, Darren Sinclair heading through Maggot and Beckett and then on to Chapel, as he looks to try and redeem himself after an adequate start. It was a fantastic start from Chelsea Boy and AJ to the P. Very optimistic from AJ to get up into 2nd place. Darren Sinclair though is going to try and find a way past. Can he make a move stick now? No, he can't. He'll break early, going towards going towards Stowe, and as they come up to Vale and Club now, to get the braking zone absolutely right, as we head around Club Corner now. Make sure you get the back end absolutely spot on here, as Chelsea Boy of course sets the fastest lap of the race. Rockatoni then in a dead heat battle with Invader Zippo to try and make his way through, as Invader Zippo runs wide, and this is an opportunity now for Rockatoni to try and keep on the back of him as they go through turn 1 now. Through Abbey, then through Farm, as now Invader Zippo looks under threat, and well, Rockatoni here is going to try and do his best to find a way past now, as they head through Arena now, through turns 4 and then through 5. Get the traction right here as well. Very easy to just lose the back end, as Rockatoni uses all the track there and maybe slightly more as we head towards Brooklands now and into Luffield, as Rockatoni there running wide. Has he got past Invader Zippo? No, he hasn't. And Invader Zippo there will be able to keep the position for now. Meanwhile, Darren Sinclair is closing on AJ as they head towards the old turn 1 through Cops and then on towards Maggot and Beckett. We're going to see now whether Darren Sinclair can try and keep up with these two. He certainly can, because he set the pole position time, but of course race pace is entirely different. The car's set up entirely different. Meanwhile, Rockatoni right on the back of Invader Zippo runs wide and he's lost the back end. Rockatoni, can he keep it out of the wall? No, he can't. He's lost a bit of front wing and he just took too much curb there, lost the back end, and now finds himself with only half a front wing as he rejoins the track here, as tries to get out of the way of Tatiam as well. It's a long way back to the pit lane now, as Bravo Wolf here trying to find a way past Spark Bobster here, as AJ to the P. We're right on board with him now, as he makes his way for the fastest lap of the race, as they go through Abbey once again and then through Farm. We've got Heemcarl now into the pits as well, as we'll have to see what goes on here. It's a very long pit lane as well. So there in comes Heemcarl. So he's lost his front wing as well, as we can see in the background. Rockatoni coming as well. So front wing damage for both of them, as Heemcarl makes his way out of the pit lane now. Bravo Wolf though finds himself in 5th place right now on the back of Spark Bobster. And then we have at the front here, we have AJ to the P trying to chase down Chelsea Boy. Darren Sinclair not far behind AJ either. Bravo Wolf then is the closest man to having a battle on track. That's with Spark Bobster. This over 4th place. And if it finishes like this, Chelsea Boy will take the lead of the championship by my calculations. Of course, we will have that at the during the interval. I'll make sure I try and calculate what needs to be done, as I'll quickly try and scribble down all the driver standings. But we'll see now. Bravo Wolf on the back of Spark Bobster. We've got AJ now trying to go into the slipstream of Chelsea Boy. AJ wants 2 from 2 in the championship, and he might just get it with a fantastic move around the outside. Chelsea Boy really had no reply, as can Chelsea Boy here try and move up the inside? He will try it. They make contact and Chelsea Boy backs out of it very wisely. But Darren Sinclair now is going to try and move around the outside, is he? He's under threat. That's, of course, the case. Rocket Queen now comes into the pits. Now, is that for damage or is that for for a strategic move. Either way, Darren Sinclair is looking for a way up past Chelsea Boy, but he's not finding a way at all. AJ to the P retakes the lead, or retakes the championship lead right now. Darren Sinclair, though, is going to try and spoil Chelsea Boy's party as he's looking for a way past. Spark Bobster then only 2/10 behind Bravo Wolf, so Bravo Wolf has found a way past, but Spark Bobster here is going to try and Bravo Wolf goes defensive. Spark Bobster looks for the outside line to try and get a better apex, and he's got to do the same here. Bravo Wolf runs deep, but he will have a better exit coming out of Luffield and onto Woodcote as he looks to try and get into the slipstream of Bravo Wolf. Meanwhile then, Chelsea Boy and Darren Sinclair, they go through the old turn 1 as they're coming up to Maggots, and then through Beckett and Chapel as Darren Sinclair here right on the tail of Chelsea Boy. Chelsea Boy picks himself up a penalty, so that's not going to help him in the end of the race as now Darren Sinclair looks to go into the slipstream of Chelsea Boy now, down the long hanger straight up towards Stowe. Can he make the move here? Going into Stowe now. Darren Sinclair down the inside. Chelsea Boy has the outside line, so he will have the preferred line going through, and he does. He holds on to the mission going through Vale and Club, but Darren Sinclair dives into the pits and looks to try and get the undercut done. Well, Spark Bobster there's got a 5-second stop-go penalty for corner cutting, but he was off track there, so I don't think that's a fair penalty, considering that he's got dirt on his tyres and everything. But that's happened, and Spark Bobster has to take that on the chin. So Darren Sinclair makes his way out of the pits now, and where will he rejoin? Invader Zippo on the back of Spark Bobster now. Darren Sinclair, though, it's a long pit road here, a long pit lane, and limiter finally goes off as Darren Sinclair exits the pits. And where will he rejoin? He rejoins in 8th place. But with clear track ahead of him, he's got a fantastic opportunity here to catch up to AJ to the P using the undercut. Meanwhile, speaking of AJ to the P, here he goes through Cops as he holds on to the lead for now. Chelsea Boy there is in 2nd place. Bravo will find himself in 3rd. Spark Bobster is 4th. Invader Zippo 5th. Shogem is in 6th. Titium is in 7th. Darren Sinclair in 8th. Rocket Queen there is in 9th. Heem Carl in 10th. Rockatoni 11th. And DK is in 12th place. Invader Zippo then heading through Maggots and then through Beckett as he takes a little bit of grass there. That's not going to help his traction coming through Chapel, as they head down towards the hangar straight. This is your closest battle on track at the moment, so we're going to stay on board with it and see what happens. Shugem meanwhile lurking in the background of Invader Zippo, ready to pounce if Shug M makes a mistake. Meanwhile, though, AJ to the P sets the fastest lap of the race as we're coming up towards the halfway mark. Ideal opportunity to pit now because the tyres will be around about the same where they are now towards the end of the race. Darren Sinclair, though, took the opportunity to make the undercut, so whether it works or not will be another question. One that will be answered by the end of the race, of course. Invader Zippo now is 8/10 behind that man there, Spark Bobster. This is the battle for 4th place right now as Darren Sinclair moves up to 7th place through the pits, and W4 has decided to join this session now, so he'll be joining us for the last race of the season. We can see here Titium drops down to 9th place as he makes his way to the pits, as we see here Invader Zippo still trying to get onto the back of Spark Bobster. He's closing that gap gradually. This is again the battle for 4th place as we now head around the old last corner. There we go, which is also known as Woodcote. Could have said that. Anyway, through Cops now as they head towards Maggots and Beckett's once again. But you can see Spark Bobster's holding his own out there, but of course he has a 5-second stop-go penalty. We'll just see now if he's made a stop at all. He hasn't, so he is yet to make a stop. The top 6 are yet to stop as well. So Bravo Wolf Invader Zippo, has a chance here getting past Spark Bobster. Speaking of Bravo Wolf, though, he lies in third place right now as AJ to the P sets another fastest lap. Chelsea Boy now comes into the pit lane. He's had enough of these tyres and looks to go into the pits as another set of Williams crew get ready for a stop as Chelsea Boy heads into the pits now. As Spark Bobster, Invader Zippo and Shug M all do the same, as you can see the three of them come in almost single file behind Chelsea Boy. Meanwhile though, Chelsea Boy is heading towards the end of the pit lane, but where is DarrenSinclair? He finds himself setting the fastest lap of the race. Chelsea Boy here might be in trouble as he heads towards the pit exit now. DarrenSinclair, this is going to be very close. He sees Chelsea Boy on the outside there, and they're side by side going through. As they're side by side going through turn 3 and then through turn 4 as DarrenSinclair has managed to find a way past Chelsea Boy. He's made the undercut work as it was a 2-lap undercut. As now Chelsea Boy is in the slipstream of DarrenSinclair, but Sinclair here has put a thorn in Chelsea Boy's side here, and this will be a warning for AJ to the P. DarrenSinclair was right behind AJ to the P, so this is a warning signal now for him to make his way to the pit lane. We saw DarrenSinclair though running wide. DarrenSinclair's run wide and Chelsea Boy's managed to get back past, and that undercut from DarrenSinclair has proved to be futile unless he can find a way past once again. Spark Bobster here finds himself back into 8th place. Of course he had to take that 5-second penalty. He finds himself just behind Shug M. But DarrenSinclair here has race of course isn't over yet. He could still try and get past AJ to the P. Meanwhile though, Bravo Wolf comes into the pits from 2nd place, so he will rejoin behind Chelsea Boy and DarrenSinclair as AJ to the P is still out there right now. We'll have a look at his lap data of course and see what lap times he's setting. I realise I can't do that from the spectator menu. I'd have to go into the race director, and that's not great viewing for anybody. Meanwhile though, Spark Bobster right on the back of Shug M here as he looks to try and take 7th place in this race. Rocker Tony then on the back of Heenkarl, this then for the last point in this race as Bravo Wolf then comes into the pits and currently 4th. But Rocker Tony here had a good race last time out. Eventually had a good race last time out, but Rocker Tony runs very wide here as he looks to try and find a way past Heenkarl's. Lost a lot of time as they head to the last corner. Spark Bobster then still on the back of Shug M, and this is the battle for 7th place as we'll see other battles out there. We see Heenkarl here trying to close in on Titium, the battle for 9th place, and then we have Chelsea Boy here 30 seconds back from AJ to the P. So AJ's got fantastic pace out there, that's for sure, as he finds himself still 30 seconds ahead. As will he come into the pits? No, he won't. So he's staying out again for another lap. Well, this is incredible tyre wear from him to keep those tyres in good nick for that long as well. We're looking at 32 laps relatively he's done on those tyres right now in a 100% race, so they're going to be screaming at him basically. But of course these tyres are a bit more durable than the Pirelli ones you find in the modern Formula 1 cars. Rocker Tony still in 11th place here, made that mistake going through the final part of the lap last time around, but he's closing in on Heenkarl and closing in on him very closely indeed as he runs wide, collects the grass once again. DarrenSinclair sets the fastest lap of the race. Heenkarl here has a job here to try and defend himself against Rocker Tony, but Rocker Tony has to string a good few corners together if he's going to stay and have a chance of getting that last point in this race. DarrenSinclair though is on a charge. He's on the back of Chelsea Boy setting fastest laps of the race, and we'll have a see now. AJ to the P finds himself 30 seconds ahead of Chelsea Boy, but of course he still has to pit, so we will see what happens here. Chelsea Boy has to defend here. We've got Spark Bobster trying to make time on Shug M here. He was 4/10 behind as he looks to try and grab 7th place in this race as Spark Bobster here right on the back of Shug M. We try and move down the inside. No, not quite, as he'll wait it out for another time around. He'll make his way around turn 7 now through Luffield and then onto Woodcote. And Chelsea Boy picks himself up a time penalty. Meanwhile, AJ to the P is into the pits. The race leader into the pits. We're going to see what Spark Bobster can do now on Shug M as they head through turn number 9 through Cops. And then we're going to go through Maggots and Beckett's now, as Shug M here is really going to try and hold off. We're going to have to leave this battle and see where AJ to the P is. Chelsea Boys now going through Vale and now Club. It's going to be close here. AJ to the P is heading towards the end of the pit lane. Chelsea Boys now on the start-finish straight. I think AJ to the P is going to hold on to this position, but it's going to be very close as he rejoins the track here. There is Chelsea Boy. You can see him just emerging into the picture. So AJ to the P keeps a hold of the race lead. And of course, Chelsea Boy and Darren Sinclair have worse tyres, but they will have warmed up a lot quicker. Heemkarl there lost a position to Rockatoni, so Rockatoni is on a charge now. He's now on the back of Titium. Spark Bobster still behind Shug M, and he's not got long left now. 4 laps to try and make a move. And will he find a way past? He seems to be very quick in these Williams, that's for sure. He's got the confidence to just throw this car in there, which is fantastic to see. And he currently lies in 8th place. He seems to just be very confident with the car as he looks in the slipstream of Shug M now. Shug M trying to make a move here. He's already made his one move. He can't make another one to defend his position as he runs deep into turn 8 here. Sorry, to turn 7. Or turn 6. I mean, take your pick. It's one of those. As they head now out of Woodcote and onto the old start-finish straight into the old turn 1 of Cops. As Rockatoni gets past Water Titium there. He's up into 9th place. He's on a charge. He made that mistake early on, but Titium is right behind him. But in the dirty air going through Cops, that's not where you want to be. Spark Bobster, though, still trying to chase down Shug M. And he's not going to make this easy for him, that's for sure. Titium here. Sorry, I'm getting my drivers all mixed up. Spark Bobster here. Shug M is trying to weave left and right. I'm not sure that's in the etiquette book as he makes another move now, trying to go down the inside. And AJ to the P picks up a 3-second time penalty. But you can see there, Spark Bobster right on the outside of Shug M as he runs onto the grass. Got a slight tap there. And I think Spark Bobster there runs wide again. He just hasn't got the grip of those tyres. Just keep the car in check as he loses the back end because of that those dirty tyres. And Shug M there, I'm not sure, as we've got Rockatoni there going right off the track to overtake to overtake Spark Bobster. And Rockatoni here has to wait for Spark Bobster because of course the move was made off track, so he has to let Spark Bobster back through, and he runs into the back of Heemkarl. Spark Bobster loses the back end. They're doing it. Oh, they've made contact, and there's Spark Bobster's got all the way around. He was fighting for Shug M for that position. He now finds himself down in 11th place, and I can't help but feel sorry for Spark Bobster there. I don't think much of that was his fault, as these two are battling out. Rockatoni here is going to try and make up for lost time once again. Meanwhile, though, Darren Sinclair right on board with him as he chases down Chelsea Boy as AJ to the P comes towards he comes towards the sorry, I've lost my train of thought there. So much drama's happened, I'm losing my mind as we've got Darren Sinclair here. Is he going to try and make a move going up here? No, he's not. He holds off for another time around. So Darren Sinclair still trying to chase down Chelsea Boy here, as of course this is going to be Bravo Wolf now setting the fastest lap of the race. Will he have a say towards the end of this race? Rockatoni finds himself in 10th place right now on the back of Heemkarl. And this is the battle for 9th place as Spark Bobster here finds himself down in 11th place. A cruel turn of events here has meant that he finds himself outside of the points. Darren Sinclair, though, as they head towards Brooklands once again, and for the penultimate time, this then the battle for 2nd place as Darren Sinclair tries to establish himself as a contender for the title. AJ to the P, though, will have scored 2 wins. 2 wins out of 2, I should say, to put himself firmly in control of the championship. Rockatoni here is on the back of Heemkarl, and he will be trying to try and find a way past. The question is, though, can he towards the end of the race? As Chelsea Boy here has picked himself up a time penalty. Rocket Tony's going to try to remove down the inside of Heimkarl. That's going to become the outside though, and he has to give Heimkarl the room as we see the two of them go side by side, going through Laffield and then onto Woodcote. As has Rocket Tony made the move stick? No, he hasn't. They're still running side by side, and Heimkarl backs out of it. He knows it's not too wide through Kops there. He wisely backs out of it. Meanwhile, battle up at the front here for the battle for second place. DarrenSinclair finds himself 4/10 behind. And he'll be looking here to try and make a move at some point. AJ to the B though still finds himself in the lead of this race. And as you can see, Chelsea Boys there in second place. DarrenSinclair in third. We've got Bravo Wolf there in fourth place. Currently has the fastest lap of the race. As we look now for Heimkarl, as he's on the back of Rocket Tony, runs wide and loses all that time he just gained on him as they look towards battling Titium for his 8th place. DarrenSinclair though finds himself in third place at the moment, and different contrast to what happened at Belgium as DarrenSinclair here finds himself on the podium. AJ to the P though has led this one not from start to finish. He started third in this one. Chelsea Boy though, we're going to look behind for the battle between these two. It's going to be very severe going through the last few corners as Chelsea Boy doesn't get a good line going through Kops, as now he's going to be vulnerable through Maggots and Beckett. Darrensinclair is right on the tail of Chelsea Boy here, right on his gearbox as well. The two of them, you could I'm lost for words what this race is. But AJ to the P currently leading the way. He's coming up towards Stowe now, having done the Hangar Straight. DarrenSinclair though hasn't got past Chelsea Boy going through the Hangar Straight. I'm going to try and stay on board for as long as I can with these two as they try and battle it out. AJ to the P, you can see they're up ahead going through Vale and now through Club. But AJ to the P here is going to cross the line in first place and take 50 out of 50 heading into the last race. Chelsea Boy finishes second, but DarrenSinclair jumps him through penalties. So DarrenSinclair takes second place. Bravo Wolf takes third after Chelsea Boy's penalties. So Chelsea Boy finds himself slipping away in this one. Rocket Queen heading through Vale and Club now. As he's had a good race there, Rocket Queen. He finds himself and will cross the line there in 5th place. Invader Zippo rounds the last corner. He's going to take 6th on track as Shug M jumps in for position. Shug M takes 6th place. Titium now coming across the line. He's 8th on track. What's penalties going to do to that? Rocket Tony will take 8th. And what's Titium 9th and Heimkarl in 10th. Meanwhile, we've got Spark Bobster coming across the line here to take 11th. And then DK will take 12th position. But AJ to the P makes it 50 points out of 50, and he will go into the last race of the championship in pole position to take the Classic Championship. So, only one race left. The season finale at Monza coming up after this. So I've got some totting up to do, but AJ to the P takes the race win from DarrenSinclair and Bravo Wolf in 3rd place. Let's have a look at the standings right now. As we see, AJ to the P on 50 points, Chelsea Boy on 30. 20 points between them. AJ to the P is in firm control. DarrenSinclair and Gia Rocket Queen have a mathematical chance of taking the title, but we will see what happens in the next race. See you then after this edit. Here we are at Monza then for the one-shot qualifying. I believe the one-shot qualifying, although it is showing race start, so I'm not quite sure what's going to happen here. Anyway, we are at Monza. Any noughties Ferrari you can use, so that's the 2002, 2004 and the 2007 Ferrari. If it were me though, I'd choose the 2004 Ferrari. Completely dominant car, that one. so fast. So I'd be surprised to see anything other than that choice. We're now going to go into qualifying here. The sound of these cars are absolutely incredible. So I'm not going to do much talking here, as I'm going to let you enjoy the sounds here of these beautiful Ferraris. So as we head now around the final corner to enjoy those sounds, AJ to the P looks like he's going to cross the line and take pole position. And he does by 7/10 of a second, as Chelsea Boy there is disqualified from the standings, as AJ to the P takes pole position and looks in pole position to take the championship. So confirmed for you there, only 6 times were registered. AJ to the P takes pole, Bravo Wolf second, Spark Bobster third, Invader Zippo fourth, Titium in fifth, Rocky Queen sixth, and then W4 in seventh, DK eighth, Darren Sinclair in ninth, Chelsea Boy 10th, Shagam in 11th, Rockatoni 12th, Heemkart in 13th there, and that will be that. In terms of championship, we will get that into the race build-up coming up after this edit. So, I've done some maths in this sort of interval. So, basically, Chelsea Boy and Darren Sinclair, in order to keep their championship hope alive, have to win the race. And hope that AJ, for Chelsea Boy, finishes in 7th or lower. 8th or lower to win the championship. Darren Sinclair will have to finish in first place, with AJ pretty much not scoring a single point. So, it's firmly in AJ's court, this championship, but we'll see. Of course, anything happens in Formula 1, and it normally does, as we wait now again for the last time in this championship for 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go. We've got AJ to the P taking a huge lead in the championship, and a huge lead at the start here, as he makes a fantastic start to get away from the rest of them. As we're now going to see someone going very wide across the grass. I'm not sure who that was, but Spark Bobster has managed to find himself into the lead. AJ to the P runs onto the gravel there, runs slightly wide, makes contact. I don't know who that is. Is that Darren Sinclair? It was! Darren Sinclair's out of the session. Unbelievable start to this race. Absolutely incredible. Darren Sinclair's championship hopes are over before they've even started in this race. Chelsea Boy then finds himself in 6th place, still behind AJ to the P, as well, this championship may not be over, not by a long shot. Bravo will find himself into the lead as DK runs very, very wide there, going through the second Lesmo. And he runs himself onto the grass once again, and Chelsea Boy going through here, and now Titium has retired from the session. He's lost his front wheel as well. What an incredible start to this race. Meanwhile then, on board with Rockatoni. Rockatoni makes contact with Chelsea Boy. Chelsea Boy's lost the back end, as well as DK. They make contact with each other, and Chelsea Boy's out of the session. And whatever happens now, we can tell you this directly right now, that AJ is the champion of this series. He cannot be caught by any other driver. That, of course, we did have someone 25 points behind, but because of AJ to the P's 2 wins, he now cannot be caught in the championship. This is it now. AJ to the P can just sit back, relax, and have a cup of tea. These 2 championship rivals find themselves in the wall on the very first lap. Well, you can see there the pit crew of GN Rocket Queen heading out as they look to get the car repaired. Meanwhile, though, Bravo Wolf is currently leading the way. Spark Bobster's in second, as he's being challenged there by AJ to the P. As now AJ makes his way through there. Invader Zippo is in 4th as we see W4 run very wide there. Now under pressure from Shug M, and Shug M through the first Lesmo runs side by side. W4 trying to hold his own there, and that's not where you want to be for the Lesmos, that's for sure. Still trying to go down the inside, and he makes contact with Shug M, and W4 has once again been too aggressive there. As now he will wait for Shug M to try and rejoin, as I'm not sure Shug M here will be in the greatest of moods there, as W4 was just so aggressive going through the second Lesmo there. He will let Shug M through again as Shug M plows into the back of him, as you can see there. Shug M not very happy at all there with W4, as Shug M retires from the session, and well, I wouldn't like to be in the driver's debrief after this race. We've had Chelsea Boy, DarrenSinclair out as well. Now we've had Shug M out of the race as he pulls to the side. And, well, yeah. I mean, it's been an intense race just to start with, as so many retirements on the first couple of laps. If we could return to normality, that would be absolutely fantastic. Invader Zippo then, we're riding on board with him as he's trying to chase down Spark Bobster, who has his podium, trying to lock that down. Not many places you can overtake here at Monza, but you can have a good go if you're brave enough, as DK there heads towards the pit lane now, and well, his aggression here has cost him a front wing, that's for sure, as on goes a new set of tyres, on goes a new front wing, and DK here only joined in for this last race of this championship, and finds himself in 9th place. Well, whatever happens now, he is scoring points, that's for sure, as he leaves the pit lane now. Meanwhile then, AJ to the P is the series champion. No matter where he finishes now, he cannot be caught. There was only one person who could catch him, and that was Rocket Queen, who finds himself down in 8th place. But because of the scoring system, because AJ has 2 wins and Rocket Queen has none, whatever the result, AJ to the P is the champion. So then, this is a good opportunity then for Rocket Queen to try and grab 8th place, second place in the championship. He needs to score 6 points, so he needs to finish in 7th if he wants to get 2nd place in this championship. Currently lies in 8th then, so this is a chance for Rocket Queen to be the runner-up of this classic series. Got a long way to go though, 25.4 seconds the gap between him and W4. Rocketoni then, right on the back of Invader Zippo, as Rocketoni trying to go down the inside of the first Lesmo. Have they given each other enough room? They do make slight contact, the two of them, but Rocketoni backs out of it, and we'll wait now to go through Ascari. But Invader Zippo's lost the back end there and has lost the position to Rocketoni, as he lost the back end coming out of the second Lesmo onto this back straight here through Ascari. You can see that's Heemkarl closing in now on the two of them. So Heemkarl now going through Ascari as a lovely left, right, left section, as Heemkarl runs just a little bit of oversteer there, as we ride on board now with AJ to the P. Bravo Wolf leads the way. AJ to the P is in 2nd place. Spark Bobster in 3rd. Rocketoni is 4th. Invader Zippo is 5th. Heemkarl 6th. W4 is in 7th. Rocket Queen there is in 8th, going through the first Lesmo. And DK there is in 9th place, already being lapped. But due to the hectic start of this race, I'm really not surprised. We've had 4 retirements. Shug M with an incident with DK at the start. Chelsea Boy got caught up in just a melee of cars and find himself out of the race. DarrenSinclair was caught up at the very first turn of the very first lap. Found himself out of the race. So the championship has been decided already. AJ to the P is the champion, but we will let this race go as DK there gets right out of the way of oncoming cars. AJ to the P then 3.8 behind Bravo Wolf. Bravo Wolf in a zone here. He can really make some doing here, as I'm not sure his I was expecting a championship battle. I was expecting Chelsea Boy and DarrenSinclair to still be in the championship. It's entirely possible then that Bravo Wolf could take 2nd place in the championship. Unfortunately, there's no way I can check, which is unfortunate, but you know, become better prepared and expect the two championship rivals to crash out. Oh well, that's my lesson for the day. Rockatoni then on the back of Spark Bobster as he sets the fastest lap of the race now. Rockatoni closing and closing on Spark Bobster here as he's now trying to fight for the podium as we go through the first chicane here and then onto this tilted and banked right-hander as Invader Zippo and Heemkarl here in a fight of their own. They go too wide going around here as they head towards the second chicane. Retifilia, I believe it is, as... or is that the first chicane? I'm not quite sure. Either way, Heemkarl right on the back of Invader Zippo. Meanwhile then, Rockatoni on the back of Spark Bobster. Now going through the second Lesmo. You can see there AJ to the P. Sorry, that's DK. As now Spark Bobster's trying to defend his podium. As Rockatoni now going to try and go round the outside as they head towards Ascari now. They are side by side as they head towards Ascari now. Spark Bobster has the inside line, but he has to concede it. And DK there lost it on the curbing there and is now out of the race. Well, that is he's lost it on the curb on the right hand side there going through Ascari, or was it the left hand side? I'm not quite sure, but we did see him lose the back end and now he's in the wall and out of the race. Meanwhile then, Heemkarl around us around the last corner. I've completely forgotten the name of it. How bad is that from me, from a commentary perspective? As Heemkarl there comes into the pits. Obviously, he doesn't have the pit. He has the pit assist on, as their teammates. Well, that is a shocking move there. As Spark Bobster, I believe that was Spark Bobster. Was it Heemkarl now into the pits? So that's cost him a lot of time there. As well, they make their way out of the pits now. As W4 now finds himself up into 4th place. Bravo Wolf still leads the way though. It is AJ to the P in 2nd. Rockatoni is in 3rd there. W4 is in 4th. Spark Bobster 5th. Invader Zippo 6th. Heemkarl into the pits and making his way down the pit straight on in 7th place. And GN Rocket Queen in 8th place. So Bravo Wolf then running wide there, gets himself a time penalty. Heemkarl got himself a penalty as well, although I'm not quite sure what it was. But we will see what happens in this race. They're all pretty spaced out at the moment as Bravo Wolf runs very wide there and finds himself into the gravel. AJ to the P will take the lead of the race and Bravo Wolf will come into the pit lane now. Well, that was a bizarre move there. He just seemed to run wide and well, I mean, he's got dirt on his tyre now, so he might as well pit in and change that. He's also got a change of front wing as he collided with the wall. As well, we can see here the boys trying to repair that car as best they can. Off Bravo Wolf goes, and AJ to the P there now leads the way, and he's got a good margin now after that incident. So we've got Spark Bobster in 5th place now as he heads down the start-finish straight. But what's the sort of what positions are you going to exit in as W4 there in a battle now with Rockatoni. Rockatoni goes bobbling across the track there. W4 takes the position from Rockatoni, who will now find himself under attack from Spark Bobster if he's not careful, as Rockatoni there didn't get that first chicane right at all. As still we have AJ to the P in the lead. Bravo Wolf there in 2nd. W4 is in 3rd place. Rockatoni 4th. Spark Bobster is in 5th. Invader Zippo 6th. Heemkarl 7th. And Rocket Queen is in 8th place. So it's been action-packed, that's to say the least, as AJ to the P comes into the pits now for his pit stop. As we're going to see now whether or not AJ can retake the lead of this race from Bravo Wolf. As we're going to see Rockatoni here on the back of W4, as we will see very shortly what the lead will be as Rockatoni closes in on W4. Be interesting with W4 is he did pit early, so of course I'm not quite sure how that's going to go down. I mean, we've got AJ to the P now rejoining ahead of Bravo Wolf, as you can see there. Bravo Wolf quite clearly behind. W4 then holds on to a podium right now as they head through Retifilio. Retifilio is the first chicane, by the way, and it was Parabolica last corner. Meanwhile, though, Rockatoni's just gone out of nowhere and taken that position from W4, so W4 must have just not got a great exit at all, and Rockatoni has completely pounced on W4. Meanwhile though, W4 is not going to take that line down. He is going to try and take that move back, but with that amount of oversteer, he's not going to get that position back very easily like that. But W4 here, as they head through the second Lesmo now, as you can see there, Rockatoni has the superior pace from W4. Bravo Wolf then does have the pace to try and beat AJ, but it's not a long way to go now, as we've got yellow flags in Sector 2, and Heemkarl's out. Heemkarl's collected into the wall there, and that's coming onto Curva del Seraglio, as, well, Heemkarl's out now of the race. We're now down to 7 runners in this one. W4 though, as they come through Parabolica, W4 has a chance to try and get past Rockatoni, as he's only 7/10 behind. Of course, like I keep saying, no DRS in this classic series. It's all slipstream, it's all set up. You've got to be precise with it, as W4 now heading into Variante del Rettifilio, as they head around turn 2. Oh, sorry, they class it as turn 1, that entire thing. Now coming through Curva Grande, as W4 here trying to reel in Rockatoni, but he's falling away towards the end of this race. 4 laps to go. Here we see Invader Zippo, 2.3 behind Spark Bobster. Let's run through the standings right now. AJ to the P is in the lead of the race. Bravo Wolf in second. Rockatoni is in third. W4 is in fourth. Spark Bobster is in fifth. Invader Zippo 6th. And GN Rocket Queen is in 7th place. So we're going to see W4 now, as he's lying in 4th place. Seems to catch up and then fall away again from Rockatoni. So there's a difference of setup there between the two of them, as they go through Ascari there, and W4's not taking any mercy with the curbs there, that's for sure, as he's trying to close in on Rockatoni. Not very easy if you're on a controller, that Ascari, that's for sure, but I mean, if you're going to create a new track here, just use the old one. But W4 now coming down the straight. Again, this is where setup comes into play. Who has a lower drag setup? It looks like it's going to be Rockatoni, because W4, even in the slipstream, cannot catch up to Rockatoni. Well, AJ to the P currently leads the way as he heads into Roggia, Variante della Roggia. As now he heads through the 2 Lesmos now with 3 laps to go. Only 7 runners in this race. It was a hectic race, but it's not over yet at all, as we still have around about 2 laps to go when AJ crosses the line again. Rocket Queen, meanwhile, is into the pits. Serves a penalty. And then the tyres come off. On they go, and away he goes. Well, Rocket Queen, it's not been a great day for him. He does find himself in 7th place, which was where he needed to be. But of course, with Bravo Wolf taking 2nd place right now, Rockatoni also had a good first race. I didn't note down the second races because I'm pretty much an idiot. But, well, we will see coming towards the end of this race what exactly happens, as we now see Bravo Wolf heading towards the start finish line. Gets himself fastest lap of the race, a 1:21.0, as W4 now comes into the pits, as he wasn't able to make that one stop work. With 2 laps to go, he finds himself in the pits now, puts on a new set of tyres, and away he goes. He's had an interesting race, that's for sure, as where will he rejoin in terms of Rocket Queen? He will rejoin in front of Rocket Queen by about an entire lap. So W4 there rejoins the circuit in 6th place. We have around about 1 and a bit laps to go now. AJ to the P, he might make it 3 wins out of 3. It's certainly not been an easy race to commentate, especially the first few laps, as we've got yellow flags in Sector 1. I'm not quite sure who it is. It might have been W4, it might have been Rocket Queen, I'm not entirely sure. But, well, whatever flags they were, they're gone now. AJ to the P then rounds Parabolica for the penultimate time as we head on to the main start-finish straight for the penultimate time. AJ to the P sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:20.7, as he'll now head towards Rettifilio. as W4 has retired from the session. W4 has hit the wall in the second Lesmo. He's obviously hit the gravel and into the wall he goes. He's now out of the race. Rocket Queen, that's another position for him. And maybe he could take second place in this championship. But we've got to watch out for Bravo Wolf and Rocketoni as well. They have had good races in the past, few of them. So we've got to be careful of that as well. So, well, AJ to the P then. We're going to ride on board with him as he rounds into the first and second Lesmos. Invader Zippo now right onto the back of Spark Bobster as they head onto the final lap. We'll try and keep on board with that as much as we can. We're down to 6 runners in this race right now as Rocket Queen gets right out of the way as he goes a lap down. Another lap down, or is it AJ to the P coming through Ascari now and onto the back straight. As we're heading towards Parabolica for the last time. This championship has been brutal for some, but for AJ to the P, he's going to make it 3 wins out of 3. Totally dominating this championship, and this is good form for him next season as AJ to the P heads towards the start-finish line. He makes it 3 wins out of 3 and is the champion of this off-season series. Bravo Wolf there comes across the line. He'll take second place, and that's going to be good stead in his championship. Time will tell, though, whether he gets third place. Rocketoni gets second place. Sorry, I've got my words mixed up. Rocketoni takes third, and whoever takes runner-up spot is going to be an interesting one. Spark Bobster rounds Parabolica, and he's out of fuel. He's out of fuel. And is Invader Zippo out of fuel as well? No, Invader Zippo is not out of fuel, and out of sheer sportsmanship, he's going to let Spark Bobster take 4th place. That is fantastic sportsmanship there, and Spark Bobster takes 4th place. But your winner and your champion of this series is AJ to the P. Well, he's a champion, and you can see it as well. As what a place to win it at Monza. He takes that driver's trophy home with him. Well, the races have been short. They've been absolutely fantastic. To round off the final standings, AJ to the P wins the championship. Bravo Wolf takes second. Rocket Queen third. Rocketoni 4th in the championship. DarrenSinclair 5th. Invader Zippo 6th. Shugem in 7th. Spark Bobster finishes in 8th place there. And then I'm not quite sure the other drivers. DK there 10th. Himkal 11th. But that's going to do it for this round. For this off-season, as AJ to the P gets 3 wins out of 3, takes home that Drivers' Championship. As you will see there, AJ to the P is the champion. Well, it's been a fantastic off-season series, and we hope you will join us for the proper series starting up next time you see us. We will be in Australia for round 1 of season 2. Can DarrenSinclair keep a hold of his championship, or will AJ to the P use his newly refound form to take that chance? Can Chelsea Boy challenge again for the championship? Who knows? Join us next time for round 1 of season 2 of SNR. I've been Kieran McGinley. You've been watching. Until Australia, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.